بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. فما بعد, a very dear friend of mine from Australia, he said to me that one of his school friends, when he was in school, so we are talking about, kids in maximum high school, but probably less than that, maybe 12, 14. He said his friend dropped out of school and he said that schooling is only public daycare. He said everyone knows that schooling is only public daycare. Now, seriously, this is something that I have been saying for a long, long time, and may Allah have mercy on us. The whole concept of schooling as we know it today started with the Industrial Revolution, 1740. And it was created to solve a problem. And the problem of the time was, what do you do with children who are parentless for 8 to 10 or 12 hours a day because both parents have gone off to work in the factories? Now, that is a problem which was created, obviously, because once factories started, um, the men went to work in the factories, and then factories expanded. They needed more labor. So women were recruited also to work in the factories. In an agrarian economy, which is what predated the Industrial Revolution, um, the parents were also the teachers of their children. So, uh, on the one hand, the father taught uh, the son or sons things to do outside the house. So, agriculture, plowing, planting, taking care of animals, taking care of the crops, and so on, and then buying and selling in the markets, all of that. And the girls were taught by their mothers, and they were taught all skills of being good housewives, good mothers, um, stitching and cooking and taking care of children and some level of medicine, and so on and so forth. So all of this happened at home. The parents also were the teachers of the children, formally and informally, teaching them religion, teaching them culture, teaching them manners, teaching them traditions, teaching them their relationships in the home, who is related to whom, and so on. How do you greet people? All of this, the entire fabric of what makes society, all of this was taught by the parents to their children. Now, with the Industrial Revolution, the agrarian economy practically collapsed, and people moved to the industrial towns. And there, so in England, it was, Leeds, Manchester, and so forth, and in America, it was Detroit and others. So people moved there, and they started living initially in small, uh, literally shanty towns, and both parents went to work. This is on a side note. This is also how women's fashion changed, because not because of any fashion reasons, but because of safety reasons. Women used to wear long, uh, loose, loose clothes, and long skirts and full sleeved tops and so on. But all of that was highly dangerous next to a machine. So that's where women's clothing became tighter and tighter and clinging to the body, because that was safer near a machine. So all of this happened, and then because of this, now a new problem was created, which was, what do you do with the children? So then this is where the schooling method started, where children were put into schools, uh, and you had 30, 40, 50, 60 children in a class and one person teaching them. Now that brought in its own dynamics, because this person teaching them was not necessarily from the same culture, tradition, ethnicity, religion, and so on. And so he or she brought their aspects and their understanding of things to the school. and the children learned new things which they would not have otherwise learned. Some of this was good, some of this was a cause of concern, a cause of definitely questioning and so on. So this all of this happened. But the long and short of this is, if you look at schooling as an activity and compare it, for example, to any other activity, there's one thing that stands out. Every other activity is the answer to a problem. It's something that is providing a solution to a perceived need of the individual. For example, a hospital. Who goes to a hospital? Somebody who is in pain, somebody who has a health problem, and they're going to the hospital in order to have that solved, to have that cured. So you don't need to convince them. So here is a person who is feeling pain, therefore they go to a hospital. A person is going to a restaurant because they feel hungry. So I'm feeling hungry. I want to eat some food. I go to a restaurant, right? So yeah, you get onto a bus because you need to go from point A to point B. You take any human activity, it is always in response to a perceived and felt need of the individual who is taking advantage of that activity, right? So this is a standard rule, if I might say, for all human activity, except schooling. Now, schooling is the only thing where the people who are going to the school are not going to the school, they are being sent to the school. And they are being sent to the school not to solve their problem, but to solve somebody else's problem, right? They are not the people who are getting anything which they want from the school. Also, if you say, well, after all they're studying and so on, so they are gaining, you tell me, what are they gaining? Because what they are studying is taught to them as discrete bits of information, which is which is dumped on them quite literally, without showing them any connections of how that bit of information connects with any other bit of information, and how that is useful, how that solves any problem. None of this is done. It's just bits of information which comes under a bucket which is called physics, or a bucket called chemistry, or a bucket called history, or a bucket called geography, and no connection between the history and the geography, the chemistry, the physics and the chemistry, or anything is taught to them or in all our regular traditional schools, any country in the world. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, these kids who didn't ask to be there, who didn't go there because they felt some need or some pain, they are now subjected to what is called an exam, which purely consists of regurgitating of whatever they have been taught, a random recall in a specific time window. So if the exam is from 9 to 11, they have to regurgitate what they learned between 9 and 11. And if the child at 11:05, if the child answers the question because he could not think of the answer until 11, which happens all the time for most of us, if you think about it. The answer is there literally on the tip of my tongue but doesn't come out. It's just there in my brain but doesn't drop at the right time. But I know the thing. So I instead of saying it at 11, I say it at 11:05. I'm failed. So I'm so sorry, you are failed. Now, the point is that, do I know the answer? I don't know the answer. You know, and what's the sanctity of knowing it within that particular window? And if I know the answer 5 minutes later, how does it make a difference? It's not a life-threatening thing. It's not something that it's not a make or break situation in life. Yet I'm failed, and if I'm writing that exam, which is say a board exam or some critical exam like that, then this has potentially a chance of completely destroying my career. That is how you find many times high school children in board exams, for this specific reason they commit suicide, because they've studied all their life, they've studied the whole year. They literally slogged through it for a year or sometimes 2 years to prepare for the exam, and then during the exam, thanks to the stress and whatnot, a particular answer, they're not able to answer it right there. even though afterwards they know the answer. But they failed, and so now doors are shut for them for further education. So this is what schooling does. Schooling is the only thing which is not an answer to anything. It is the people who go to school, the actual customers of the school are the children. But the schooling, its entire design, the way it is run, and so on, benefits everyone other than that actual customer, which is the student. Schools make profit for their owners. Schools create an opportunity to earn a salary for teachers for teaching something which a child can learn very easily on their own. And this is why homeschooling now is so popular, because people have realized they don't need to send children to a school and pay a fee and all the rest of it, drive them back and forth morning and night through wind and rain and snow. There's no need to do all that. The child can stay at home and they can learn, and that quality of learning is as good, if not better, than the school, because it is self-driven, it is self-motivated, and these children are getting admission to some of the top universities of the world without any problem. So homeschooling is not making them any dumber or anything. They're doing perfectly well, and AI has opened the doors for this in to an extent which I guess one can call it unlimited, because now the entire body of human knowledge potentially is available to anyone who has a internet connection and a phone or a computer. So this is something that I want to leave with you, and hopefully you can think about this and say, just answer a simple question: what need does schooling fulfill? It doesn't fulfill any need. I mean, it does not fulfill any need for the individual customer. Think about that. I'm not talking about how does it help. It fulfills the need of the parent who wants to get rid of the child for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day because he or she has gone off to work. It fulfills the need of the teacher who needs a salary. Therefore, they come and teach. Whether the children need that, they don't need that, they like that, they don't like that, doesn't matter. The teacher needs to teach because they need to get a salary. It fulfills the need of the business owner, which is the school owner, who is doing that because it makes them profit, and it's a niche in the market which has no peaks and troughs. Schools are there, fees is paid. Whether the economy is going up or down makes no difference. Parents treat it as a life and death thing, which I suppose in some ways it is. But for the children, right? Think about this. Another aspect of this, and I want to end with that. Think about this. Schools are the only thing, other than prisons, other than jails, where the inmates have no say in whatever happens to them. No decision that impacts the inmates has an input from the inmate about that decision. Nobody asks them what time should we have lunch, what should we eat. Nobody asks them what do you do if you are feeling sleepy in the afternoon, what subject should be taught when and why, and this and that. Whatever you want to do, including once they enter the place, the gate shuts and they cannot leave on their own. They have no autonomy on that. They call to classes by bells ringing, as if they have no sense, as if they have no access to watches, that they can't keep their own time. They are treated like complete imbeciles who cannot even keep to a time. So some bell has to ring or a buzzer has to go off for them to go from class A to class B. They cannot even go to the toilet without asking permission, and obviously publicly in the class, which is so undignified. We have all been through the system, so I'm talking about what I went through, and I'm sure everyone listening to this went through in their schooling time and so on. So all of this kind of stuff happens, and yet we think that this is a great system. It is not a great system, and AI is going to put it to death. I mean, and believe me, I mean, at least I am one person. I'd be very happy to see all schools dead, and then people can really focus on solving problems. And I'll do a second podcast on that, on how do you solve that problem. But think about that. What problem does your school solve? And the answer is, it doesn't solve any problem. It actually creates more problems. So this is my, I agree with my friend's friend who said that everyone knows that schooling is really official daycare, which is what it is. And that's really, I think, for people who are going to schools and people who are sending children to schools and people who are running schools to think about and say, how can we create something which really adds value instead of this, joke that we have called schooling. وصلى الله على نبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.